Well, good morning, everybody. I think it's morning, but for those that it's not, I apologize. And good afternoon or good evening. I mentioned I focus on project management and provide project management services, coaching, advising, training, walking into organizations that have PMOs or do not have PMOs, and helping them figure out what methodology should be put in place. And one of the things we deal with when I look at that is, should a project go forward or should it be canceled if it's underway? And that some of that ties to project assessments. When I am asked to assess a project that appears to be in trouble, what do you do about it? So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. As Jessica mentioned, I do quite a bit of writing. And one of the things was a book that was released about 2 years ago in 2013 about project management for flat organizations, really organizations that are accustomed to informal controls, informal processes. And I think there are 1 or 2 webinars out on CAI's library with those webinars. I'll turn it back to you.
Good. It is brought to you and sponsored by CAI. CAI is a global IT services and outsourcing firm that is currently managing active engagements on just Fortune 1000 companies and government agencies around the world. I am delighted to be here today to facilitate this discussion, and we're looking forward to a very productive and informative webinar. Today's webinar and all future webinars have been approved by the PMI with 1 PDU credit. The code for that credit will be emailed to you in a confirmation of attendance email. Please do note that if you're not an ITMPI premium member, there is a small fee to access the PDU code. All are recorded and will be available on our library page at itmpi.org/library within 5 to 10 business days. And please do note that if you're not an ITMPI premium member, there is a fee to access these recordings. In becoming a premium member and enjoying all the benefits of premium membership, please visit us at itmpi.org/subscribe. You also have the option there to sign up for a free basic membership, and that will give you access to all the free education material on our website. For your patience with those opening remarks, we are at this point ready to begin today's discussion. Laura, you now have control of the presentation. Please proceed.
Yeah. I sent a chat a few seconds ago or a few minutes ago saying, please feel free to ask questions. I will be looking at the Q&A and hopefully catch any questions that come in, but if I don't, we will address them at the end during a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. We're going to discuss is the go, no-go decision. What do you do about it? How do you decide when to go, when to stop a project? And I'm going to look at halting projects, canceling them, and resetting, and then going forward. And I'm going to do it primarily at 3 different points. At the beginning, in the project, and at the end. And I'll explain what I mean more by begin, middle, and end in a few minutes. What I'm not saying is that keep your eyes open and ears to see if you have a problem and you need to take a halt at any particular point in time in a project. Start a project. What you need to do, and I'm just probably saying some things that everybody knows, is you need to have an understanding of what the vision is. You need to keep that in mind. Know what the goals are, and it might be documented in a chart or a scope statement or a statement of work. You might have change orders that have changed the goals. It could have changed, which changes the goals of the project. I think everybody on this phone call, though, will say it's easy, very easy, once a project gets going, to lose sight of the project goals and the project vision. Project management career, I started something that I don't know if anybody on the phone does this or does not do it, but what I started to do was start each day by ensuring and confirming the goals of the project. It's 2 seconds. I had it posted on the wall in a cube or on the wall in a war room or just in my journal because I found it was easy to keep a journal of what was going on every day, so it was on the front cover. And when I had responsibility or could influence the status report, I put the goal at the top of the status report. My reason for adding it to the status report was to keep that vision in front of everybody so that they did not lose sight of it as we went through a project. If you don't do it, you might want to consider doing that. Move forward and let's start a little bit. I don't sing, so I apologize for this slide, but Kenny Rogers, the gambler, has a great line. You got to know when to hold them, walk away, and know when to run. But I have some projects that I have wanted to run away from. Working on a project, and I know I've worked on projects that I've been asked to either walk in and take over as the project manager, and somebody's been there for 6 months or a year. The surviving is knowing what to throw away and knowing what to keep. In the project world, knowing how to mitigate your risk. And there are a few things that you can do. One of them is halt the project. Doesn't kill it, but what it does mean is you take a deep breath, you talk to the sponsors, team members about your concerns. It means evaluating the project. It means resetting the project by pivoting it ever so slightly because the course does not meet the current goals. Performing a project review of a new system, new application system. It was during the testing phase. Stakeholder, the sponsor, had asked me to come in and do the review because he felt that the wrong application had been selected, and he was concerned that they should stop the project. Take a deep breath. What's going on? Highlighted that they had not selected the wrong application. There were too many change orders. One of the assumptions made early on was that the new application would drive the business processes and people would change. People didn't want to change. Did we cancel the project? No, it continued. But we did pivot it a little bit. First by saying, look, all these change orders have to stop. We change how we're working. Many times people forget about the change aspects of a project, and we put a change management plan in place, and we enhance the communication. Communication went in. It was extremely successful, but we did halt the project. We did take a slight pivot in course and kept the goals in mind as we moved forward. I'm going to look at holding